So yeah, as a lot of you will probably know, Super Regionals are gonna start tomorrow. And as someone who's been following Smite esports for, I think, more than 2 years now, I'm obviously pretty interested in that. And so for this video and for this event, basically, I decided to share my opinion on what I think is gonna happen there, who I think is gonna go ahead and win. I didn't really prepare for this. Like, most of the stuff's just gonna come out spontaneously. That was a hard word. And we'll see if I'm right about some stuff. If I end up being wrong, well, that's that. Who cares? Okay, so I think the best way to do this is just to go through the different sets that are going to be happening. And the first set is going to be in the top left in the image right there. Let's see if I can actually make it a little bigger. Yeah, well, it's still terrible, but the first set's going to be Team Eager against Flashpoint. Flashpoint, obviously, formerly Denial Esports, who have sold their team for unknown reasons, I think. And, well, they're both really interesting teams, in my opinion. They both have a lot of really good players. Like, you can look at the support role for both teams. Shadow Q, Aurora, both really good supports. Both fill a different role in their team, I think. Shadow Q being heavily focused on shot calling, from what I know, and Aurora not really covering that role on Eager because DJ Pernicus is doing that. And you can look at other roles where they don't really match up as much. Like, if you compare someone like Satman to Vishim, I would say Satman is a lot stronger. Satman is, in my opinion, undoubtedly one of the top 3 AECs in NA right now. And I wouldn't give that same title to Vishim already, however. And in the jungle, I wouldn't give a top 3 position in the jungle in NA to DJ Pernicus. I would, however, give that to Homiefi. He is, in my opinion, the second best jungler in NA right now, right behind Anminster, who we're gonna get to later on. And then you have the remaining players. I think as far as the mid lane is concerned, the best is definitely one of the best in NA. Probably the best. Terrible joke. But actually, I think he's right now the top NA mid laner. I think he's a bit ahead of Stealth and everyone else. And I think Hurrywind is not up there. Hurrywind and Tobiafi, they have good synergy together, which is why they work. But I don't think individually Hurrywind is really good enough to compete with the likes of Best. I think what's given him a good chance to do it is that a lot of NA mids have been really weak in Season 3, in my opinion. Especially if you look at how people like Boosh have completely left the scene. And it's definitely impacted the scene in a negative way, in my opinion. As far as the last position is concerned, which would be the solo lane, I think there's also a clear advantage in on either side with Divios, who I consider to be better than Benji, to be perfectly honest with you. However, no, it's actually not however. I think Eager's gonna win, not because they have the better individual players, but just because they are the better unit and they work better together as a team from what I've seen. Their shot calling also seems to be a bit better than Denial's, and I think Denial aren't always on the same page, and I can definitely see that Eager are, in my opinion. So I think this set is going to go to Eager. I don't think it's going to be 3-0. I think Flashpoint can get 1 or 2 games even. But we're going to have to see. I would be really surprised if it ends up being a 3-0 to Eager, but I would be even more surprised if Flashpoint end up winning the series. So yeah. Oh, sorry, I should stop doing it. Yeah, the second semifinal in NA is going to be Sword Gaming against Luminosity, which is also going to be a really nice matchup to get. Because Luminosity is undoubtedly one of the best teams in NA, and so is Soar. Soar is probably the best team there right now. It's between them or Eager, which makes sense because they've both won their groups at the group lands. And what makes Soar good is how stacked of a lineup they are. They have some of the best players in basically all of their roles. They have Chicks in support, who's probably the best mechanical support in NA right now. They have Aninster in jungle, who's probably the best jungler in NA right now. They have Baskin, who's in contention for being the best player overall in NA right now, and is, in my opinion, definitely the best solo laner. And they have the two weaker links, although Matt Yankee is really fucking good. And they have Snoopy. Snoopy, I think he's still settling into the mid role a bit, but I think he's really stepped it up. And I was critical of him, of them picking him up when they first put the team together going into the fall split, because I've never seen anything impressive. I had never seen anything impressive out of Snoopy mid before then, but he seems to have really found his role. I think it's good how he went into mid during a meta in which hunters are actually working in mid. Like we've seen Rama mid, which is really fucking weird, but it works for him because he's obviously one of the best Rama players in the world, probably. Right behind Marvels. And so I think Soar's a really fucking good team. I think individually they're a lot better than Luminosity. Outside of a few positions, I think. When I think about it, I think the only position I've really got to give to Luminosity is the ADC role, where Barracuda is probably the best ADC in NA right now. And outside of that, I can't really see them as being stronger. As being stronger than the Eager lineup, role by role, than the Sword lineup, role by role. Wait, who is Luminosity's support again? I'm looking like an idiot right now for not knowing that. Luminosity's support. Oh, Chef Hinla. Okay, so yeah, I think Chef is still a great support. Obviously, I just think he's not as good as Chicks, because Chicks is the best. Although the best is the best. I'm gonna stop making that joke right now. Don't worry. So anyway, I think outside of that, their roles don't really match up. I think Xenotronics isn't the greatest of mids. He only really carries games on Jingwei, which he's probably not gonna get, because why would you not ban Jingwei away from Luminosity if they have the best hunter in NA at the same time as having a mid who's extremely dominant on her? It just doesn't make any sense to let it go through. Especially if you yourself also have a hunter like Matt Yankee, who can definitely make use of Jingwei. So if you're first pick, you basically have 3 bans. Because you can just pick Jingwei away from them. And so I think Soar... I think this is also going to be an interesting matchup. I think Soar's also a little bit weaker in terms of shot calling than Luminosity is, because they just have the much more seasoned players. And wait, that doesn't actually make any sense. No, I think Soar is sort of lacking a second shot caller, right? Andy has been shot calling for his basically entire pro career, and he's always kind of had a support who's been able to do the same thing. I don't know if Chicks is up to that task, although he's probably also a really tactical minded player, considering he's been a coach before. But I kind of doubt that their shot calling is as high up as Luminosity's, who have the seasoned veterans like Barracuda and Jeff Hinla. But I could be wrong about that. I don't know. I'm not able to 100% say that, because I just don't have the deepest insight into those teams, unfortunately. So this is just an opinion, of course. So still, I think individually the Soar players are a lot better, and they're better to the extent where Just their individual performance is going to carry them to a victory over Luminosity. So I also think this series isn't going to be a 3-0. I would be really surprised if it was, because they've been scrimming each other from what I've heard, or at least prior to the group stages. And with that in mind, I highly doubt it'll be a 3-0. I think it will again be a 3-1 or a 3-2 in favor of Star Gaming. I'm tending more towards a 3-2 this time around, honestly. Because Luminosity is still a really good team. It's insane how stacked this tournament is, actually. That's how Super Regionals should be, right? That's also how Worlds should be. Too bad not all of them go to Worlds. So anyway, we'll now move on to the other side of the bracket, the EU bracket, obviously. Where we'll also have 2 semifinals being fought out between Orbit and Obey, and between Energy and Sanguine. So first one we're going to look at, obviously, Orbit and Obey. Now, I'm not entirely sure how I feel about this match, because it's hard to tell how much Obey have improved since the online stages. So yeah, I'm back in our time because the mic fucked up. I know it's still terrible right now, probably, but I just can't get it any better right now. So what I was saying about Orbit and Obey is that that Obey was very clearly the third place team in NA and EU, because they were miles ahead of every other team below them, and they were also miles behind Orbit and NRG. And the main point was, unless that has changed, unless they are a lot better than they used to be, than they were in the fall season, including group stages, I don't think they stand a chance against just the pure mechanical power of Orbit, combined with how the team works, combined with the amount of synergy the team seems to have, combined with the wide array of strategies they also seem to have, because they have those kind of players that can pick almost anything and be really good with it. And that's a scary kind of team, right? You have that basically in 3 roles. You have it in solo, you have it in jungle, and you have it in support. And they have this unique style where they, or just their classic style, which is just hyper diving onto the backline of the enemy team, while your front line is good enough to take care of itself and just shreds through there, while your backline is good enough to care for itself, while they just shred through the enemy front line. And I think that's what makes this team strong. But it's not just that, it's also the fact that you can still put Trix Tank onto a really supportive support, and he will peel for his team, because he can also do that. They are so versatile as a team, it's insane. And they have some of the best players in their role. Again, they have Trix Tank, who's probably the best support in EU right now. I keep saying NA. They have Funballer, who's probably the best ADC in EU right now. They have Salia, who's, I think, still up there in contention for best solo in EU. They have Kyoshed, who's stepped up massively. They have Lobster, who's really consistent. They're a really hard team to beat, and I don't think Obey is good enough to beat them. But we will see. However, I'm still predicting this set to go 3-0 or 3-1 in favor of Orbit. And yeah, I don't think I'll give Obey a 3-2. I'd be really surprised if I actually end up winning this set. I think the most likely result is actually 3-0, which is really rough. But I think it's true. And yeah, well, maybe they will get a 3-1 if for some reason Orbit lets Tier through one game, which will be a mistake they will definitely not repeat, and they might even be able to deal with it. Whatever. Okay, on to the next set. I will try to get this done fast. So, Energy against Sanguine. I could just say Energy's gonna win, because that's what's gonna happen, I think. But, well, let's talk about it a bit more, right? The reason Energy is going to win, and the reason they're going to win 3-0 or 3-1, is that they are mechanically just so much fucking better than everyone in Sanguine. Sanguine has... How many good players does Sanguine actually have? Now that I think about it, let's look up their roster again. Now, this is still embarrassing, to be honest. So, Sanguine. Let's look at the good players on this team. There's Murder, who's a decent support, right? He was good in Season 1, definitely. And he's fallen off ever since, in my opinion. They have Cherio, who's a good jungler, but good is, in this case, just above decent. And they have Nika, who's a good solo laner. Issue is he's going to be against Dimmy. Dimmy is also a really good solo laner. Issue is Cherry's going to be against Adapting, although jungle matchup is not a real matchup. And Adapting is also pretty good, I'd say, considering he's still one of the best players in the world. Dodo is going to be against Yaman. Yaman looked pretty weak at at the group stages. Still looked massively better than Dodo. Murder is going to be against Raffer. Raffer, not the best support in the EU, in my opinion. Still a really good support. Still probably better than Murder, unless he catches a really bad day and Murder catches a really good day. Arkell, well, I don't think, like, the fact that I have nothing to say about Arkell is already a pretty bad thing in of itself. And the thing about Sanguine is, what got them their wins are the rich strategies. Like the tanky jungler thing. It was just something that Dignitas was completely unable to deal with. And that's what got them their wins over Dignitas. And obviously, if Dignitas loses games to them, they will lose too many points to still beat them in the rankings, especially if they don't actually win against Orbit. And that's why they're here, and not Dignitas. But the issue is now, they're now against a team that knows Chang. They're now against a team that is much more experienced than Dignitas. Excuse me. And they are now against a team that is much, much better than Dignitas. And I do not see them winning against that team. I see them maybe winning one game if they pick Chang and somehow manage to beat them with it. But I think that's it. I think this is going to be the end of Sanguine. But hey, it's the end against Energy. It's not too bad, right? And they still have the group LAN at the group stages. But we're going to get to that in a later video. So the plan is right now, by the way. Oh yeah, I think 3-0 or 3-1 again. More likely 3-0. Even more likely than it is up here. So the group play that's going to happen after the individual regions play. I'm going to do that in a separate video, at least try to. And I'm also going to do the finals and the finals of both regions in a separate video. Because those are also going to be really interesting matches, even though they won't really have any meaning, just a regional championship, which doesn't matter nearly as much as qualification for Worlds that both of the winners, that all 4 winners of the semifinals will have already achieved. But yeah, I will try to get another video up on Friday, just before the things actually start, before the group stages start. So yeah, that's it from me. If you liked this video or whatever, you can leave a like. If you disliked it, you can, of course, also feel free to leave a dislike. No one will hate you for that. Well, I will, but it won't matter. I won't know who you are. Comforting, isn't it? And yeah, if you want to see the next couple of videos that I'm probably going to do, you can leave a subscribe too, and you will get informed about them. Isn't that a great feature on YouTube? I think it is. So thank you all for your attention. Well, see you all soon.